This is a story of a wild young man who was in a terrible accident. Peter was a German guy who used to party hard and drink a lot. He didn't care about his family, friends, going to school, or getting a job. His mother used to advise him, "Peter, be more responsible. Go back to school. Join the church and ask forgiveness to God. He will forgive you for what you have done." Peter replied by saying, "I don't need God," and walked away. Every single night, Peter was back at the bar drinking. It was winter, a dark cold night. The road was wet, and he was very drunk. He took his motorbike, ignoring the people's warning. They warned him not to ride in this weather. Unable to see what was coming towards him, he crashed. There was Peter on the floor, drops of rain on his bleeding face. He was scared. He was really scared. He heard some voices, noises of siren, and then he saw a man walking towards him. He kneeled in front of him and said, "Hey, stay with me." Peter, scared, replied by saying, "I don't want to die." The man said, "Don't worry, everything will be alright." Peter was scared, cold, and bleeding. Things started to get dark around him, as if he was falling asleep. A black figure lies down next to him. "You're mine now." Peter passes out. He wakes up on a hospital bed. However, everything around him is damaged and broken. He stands up and walks towards the door, and he tries to open it, and the doorknob falls off. Scared and confused, Peter kicks the door down, which makes a loud noise throughout the corridor. As he walks down the corridor, looking for an exit, he spots two human figures walking into a room. Dim lights behind him flicker. He walks towards the door, where he saw the people. As he gets closer to the door, he starts to hear screams of pain. He tries to open the door, but it's locked, when suddenly the scream stops, and he hears a whisper behind the door. "Shh, he's here." Peter asks, "Hello? Can someone tell me what's going on here?" He receives no answer, just silence. He decides to carry on walking down the corridor. He spots a fire exit, where he opens the door and finds it absolutely deserted, except for his motorbike, which the engine is still running. His motorbike's broken, but he's still able to ride. As he makes his way home, he finds cars, motorbike, wreckage on every street he turns to, as if it was a scene from an apocalyptic movie. Peter arrives home when there are a few dozen cars outside. He opens the door and sees many of his family members. He tries to speak to them, but gets no response. Everyone seems to be standing around the table. Before he gets to see what's in this table, he sees his mum on the other side. She's crying. He asks, "What's wrong?" and gets no response. Angry, scared, confused, he turns around to see what's going on. When he looks at the table, there is a coffin. He looks inside, only to see something someone should never have to set eyes on. It's him. Peter sees himself in the coffin. Peter screams, "No, no, no, this can't be. I can't be dead." When suddenly the crying around him stops. He opens his eyes and he's no longer home. He's now standing outside the church. He walks into the church, but there is no one around except for 4 coffins and one man dressed in black at the altar. He makes his way towards the altar Inside the coffins is a family of 4, a father, a mother, and 2 brothers. The man looks at him and says they were making a trip to a theme park when someone in a motorbike drove towards them. The father tried to swerve to the right, but the car crashed. "It was you," said the man. "You killed this family. How dare you kill this family because of your selfishness? I hope you pay for what you have done." When someone sitting in the back seat said, "Don't worry, the arrangements have been met. He will." 4 dark shadows appear next to Peter. They each grab one of his limbs and drag him down beneath the earth. When they reach a fiery pit, they place him inside the torture chamber. He cries out and asks God, "Please God, help me. I need you." A voice replies to him, "Why should he help you? You said it yourself. You don't need God."